anything like this before?
Yeah, Bismarck as a grad student, and Lusitania on vacation a couple of years back.
Hell of a resume.
Alright, I've reached the seabed. Can't see much.
You're still a couple of 100 meters out, and back to manual control. Shall we run an equipment test?
Sure, let's do this by the book.
Alright, let's run through the controls on the panel in front of you. The center left joystick allows you to move the submersible forward, back, left, and right. The center right joystick controls the yaw, letting you rotate left and right. Try them out now. Great! Now let's check the altitude controls. The lever on the far right allows you to ascend and descend.
Okay.
If you look down at your hands, you can see your controllers. The top button on your right controller is the info button. Holding down the info button will bring up the control diagram for your handpieces. If it feels more comfortable, you can operate the submersible using these controls on your handpieces instead of physically moving the levers.
Great. How do I interact with objects?
You can interact with objects in the submersible by touching the object with your controller, and then pull the trigger to use. If you ever get stuck, just hold down the info button again to bring up the controls diagram.
Will do.
Right, now we'll move on to the map and missions. You'll see in the middle of the console in front of you is a map. It shows your current location as a blue pointer at the bottom of the screen. As you approach the wreck, it will slowly appear on the map. The yellow icon is your current goal location, so you know where you should be heading. The far left lever controls your sub's lights. To turn the spotlights on and off, interact with the button. The screen just to the left of the console displays the mission log. It shows your current goal task. So if you aren't sure what you should be doing or looking for, check the mission log and map for more information.
Got it.
Okay,
Whoa.
you better place a marker before. There's something you don't see every day.
She's a beauty. Marker's been placed.
You can head towards the bow. So, I had a call from our main sponsor.
Problem?
No, all fine. Just voicing her excitement about us finally diving. Said you... Okay, first things first. We've got a contract with the Titanic Society to place their commemorative plaque on the forecastle deck. Get yourself into position.
Alright. Coming up to it now.
You'll need the Predator for this task.
Ah, the ROV.
Yep, courtesy of Flight Avionics and the latest in augmented reality technology. If you look up, you'll find a set of VR goggles and a control panel. To deploy the ROV, reach out and touch the VR goggles with your hand controller. Then pull the trigger to use. The controls to maneuver the Predator are the same as the submersible. Make your way over to the plaques already laying on the deck, and remember that the range is only up to 15 meters. The advantage of driving without an umbilical.
Is there any way to boost the signal?
Yeah, but we need to upgrade the deep-sea transmitter, and they don't come cheap. The generosity of our sponsors and UNS funding only goes so far. If we complete these contract jobs, we might just be able to afford some upgrades.
What happens if I go out of range?
The automatic recall kicks in. ROV comes straight back to the sub. Just remember what I said about these new ROVs. The range is only up to 15 meters.
Whoops. Looks like I went out of range. Whoops. Looks like I went out of range. I'm here.
Great. The plaque we're placing is in the Predator's inventory. You can access it through the menu.
Oh, how do I open the menu?
You can open the menu by pressing and releasing the info button. While in the menu, you can check your map and mission log and access the inventory. To interact with items in the inventory, use the laser pointer to highlight the item and pull the trigger to select.
Okay, I'll place the plaque down on top of the flashing beacon.
Just remember what I said about these new ROVs. The range is only up to 15 meters.
Just out of range. Just out of range. I'll take a photograph with the onboard camera for the Society.
Great idea. They'll appreciate that. You can access the camera through the ROV inventory. Open up the menu again and select the camera icon from the inventory screen.
Done. I'll head back to Sedna.
No need. Just press the top button on your left controller. This is the return button. Now you're back in the sub. Recall the ROV by pressing the button next to the ROV goggles. It's above you on the right.
Where to now?
Hull breach on E-deck. I'll mark it on your map.
We're heading for his cabin, right?
That's right. Eyewitness testimony said Henderson kept a journal. It should tell us more about his activities on the final night.
I presume I'm looking for some kind of trunk.
Henderson had a briefcase listed on the manifest. With any luck, it's still in his room. Dr. Lynch,
Yeah?
why are we doing this?
$45,000 a day at sea.
No, I know, but that just about covers the costs of the expedition. I meant, like, why are we taking this job in particular?
Well, put it this way. Why do you think she hired us?
Because we're academics?
Yes, but more specifically, we respect the history. It would have been cheaper for our sponsor to just hire a salvage team.
And why'd you agree to take it?
Funding like this comes once in a blue moon, and I wanted to see her up close.
This breach is from the impact with the ocean floor. Anything in here is going to be messy.
I'll keep my eyes peeled.
It's towards the top of the breach. Look for the flashing beacon. I really hope his briefcase is there.
Ah, found a briefcase. I just need to pick it up by holding down WJH. I think this is it.
Well, that's lucky. Are you going to open it?
No, not here. Assuming there's anything intact in there, it'll start degrading as soon as I open the case. I'll have to bring it back to the lab before we can take a peek.
Okay, you should put the briefcase in the Predator's storage then. Just open and close the menu again by pressing and releasing the info button. The briefcase will appear in the ROV's inventory as a selectable item, and you'll have your hands free again.
Right. If this is the last task for today, I'll head back to the lab now.
Yep, just return to the submersible and you can head up from there. I can't wait to see what's inside. Let's get you to the surface. Activate the autopilot and get comfortable.
Alright, I'll see you in about 2 hours.
Whoa, looks to be in good condition.
Let's get this cleaned up. A bone hair comb. I'll need to wash the salt out quickly before it crystallizes and the bone starts to crumble. It's ready for drying in the acetone bath. Silver doesn't look great after being in the ocean. This tobacco tin is covered in silver sulfide. I'll have to gently wash this using a soft brush, making sure I don't scratch the surface underneath. It's come up great. These banknotes are delicate and will need a good rinsing in the desalination bath. Then we can treat them in the fungicide to keep them clean before freeze drying them. This journal is pretty special. The pages seem to be a fabric-paper blend. I think the desalination bath will leach out the salt. Then it can go into the PEG station before freeze drying. Looks like a receipt for a telegraph sent on the night of April 14th.
That's strange. I haven't found any reference to one being sent. I wonder what it said.
We can check with our sponsor when she calls. We could also search the first-class purser's office tomorrow, see if we can find the record book. Passengers placed and paid for their telegraph messages at the purser's office, and the record book would give us confirmation if a telegraph message was organized.
We could also check the Marconi room to check if the message survived. Telegraphs were put into canisters before being sent through the pneumatic tubes, and it's possible the canisters survived. Here's our sponsor. We can tell her the news.
Hi, team. How are you both?
Hi, Gillian. We're doing great.
We've just finished cleaning the artifacts we found today. We managed to access Henderson's cabin and retrieve his briefcase.
Wonderful.
Inside we found his journal, a few personal items still in good condition. One interesting item is a receipt for a telegraph sent on the night of the sinking.
Oh, that is interesting. I didn't know William sent a message.
That's what we thought.
It's possible it wasn't sent, and that it's still in either the purser's office or the Marconi room. We're thinking our next dive should be to explore these rooms.
I know teams have searched the Marconi room before, but I didn't think the purser's office was accessible.
Yeah, up till now it's been off limits due to the size of ROVs, but ours is small enough to access it. We're hoping we might find the purser's record book, with the message listed.
As for the Marconi room, other dives have shown most of the furniture is deteriorated, but the telegraph canisters might have survived.
Sounds plausible. Let me know if you find anything. I'd love to see the message he sent. I've only the letters from Southampton.
I noticed something odd in his journal. On the 14th he mentions carrying some special package, but I'm sure he didn't have anything reported in the manifest. Do you have any idea what it could be?
Well, in his last letter, he wrote about returning home with a present for my great-grandmother. I'll do a bit of research on my end. I can check over the manifest again to see if we missed anything.
Great, we'll let you know if we find anything tomorrow. I'm sending over photos of the items we found today.
Thanks, I really appreciate the regular updates. It's making writing much easier. We'll talk again soon.
Well, shall we call it a day?
Not quite. Gillian was kind enough to order in a stronger transmitter for our ROV. We'll need to fit it before the dive tomorrow. Otherwise, we won't be able to reach the purser's office.
I'll get on it now then.
It's waiting for you over there.
Thanks. I need to replace the transmitter in the ROV with the one on the table next to it. The instructions for replacement are on the posters behind the ROV rack, and I can access the lower sections of the ROV by lifting the rack bar up. I need to replace the transmitter in the ROV with the one on the table next to it. I need to lift the black hood to place the transmitter, then lift the bar up to put the sample container in the storage compartment. She's all ready to go for tomorrow.
Cool. I'll see you in the morning then.
Radio check, Wilson.
Coming in nice and clear, Dr. Lynch.
Great. First up is the purser's office on C deck, correct?
Correct. To access it, you'll need to head down through the hole where the forward grand staircase was. I'll mark it on your map.
The C deck is pretty compressed from what I've heard.
Yeah, the impact with the sea floor bent most of the supporting pillars, so they're struggling with the weight of the floors above.
With the rate of decay increasing, it won't be long before it all collapses. I'm glad we've had a chance to come down here and see it for ourselves before all this becomes inaccessible.
And she was sinking fast then. And all of a sudden she lifted up quickly and you could hear everything crashing through her. Everything that was movable was going through her. And then she went down and seemed to come up again. So I thought, well, now I'm going to leave. And I was hanging on to a board. We had two boards, starboard and port, which said, keep clear of propeller blades. And I was hanging on to one of these and I was getting higher and higher in the air. And I thought, well, now I'll go. And I dropped in. I had a lifeboat on. And I hit the water with a terrific crack. Luckily, I didn't hit anything when I dropped in. There were bodies all over the place. And then I looked up at the Titanic. So the propellers were right out of water, the rudder was right out, and I could see the bottom. And then gradually she glided away, and that was that. That was the last of the Titanic. I didn't want to die. I mean, I didn't see much chance of living, but I was gradually getting frozen up. And by the grace of God, I came across a lifeboat, and they pulled me in.
You'll need to be careful of debris when descending with the Predator. It might make it easier if you position your sub so the lights shine down the void.
Good idea. Deploying Predator, starting to descend. Here we are.
Great. The purser's office and inquiry desk are on the starboard
Okay.
side. You'll need to go over the desk to get into the side room.
Right, I'm here.
The office is to the left as you enter. Be careful. This area hasn't been explored before. We don't know what we'll find in here.
To think the last person in this room would have been Chief Purser McElroy.
The record book would have been kept in a leather pouch.
I don't see it here.
Maybe try the safe back out in the inquiry office.
doors are rusted shut. We can't check inside.
Is the pouch among the debris?
No, I can't see the leather pouch anywhere. We might be out of luck.
That's a shame.
We'll have to hope the Marconi room gives us some answers.
While we're here, we should collect a sample of the rust on the safe doors. MCPA regularly check for new species of bacteria living in rusticles, and I'm
I'll
sure
take a
they'll want a
photograph of the
sample
scene
of this.
too. They'll need to see the rusticle formations as well. Done. We'd better move on to the Marconi room.
I'll mark it on your map. You'll need to head back to the sub to get there. The Marconi room isn't too far from here, just between the first funnel and your current position.
How do I get in?
Either through the skylight or the corridors. Up to you which you feel is safer.
Right, I don't want to damage the wreck. Or the ROV. I'm in. Really isn't much left here, is there?
No, not really. Most of the furniture was wood, so it's almost all deteriorated.
There's a lot of debris on the ground, and a few broken canisters. Alright, heading back up now.
See you soon, Doctor.
These brass canisters will need a good scrub in fresh water. It'll stop them from oxidizing when they dry. I'm surprised these paper messages survived. They'll need to be soaked in the desal bath and then in the fungicide tub. Ready for freeze drying. Transferred to Titanic. Fine ship, fine weather. Arrive Wednesday with special delivery. Love, William.
He mentions the package again. Maybe he really did have something stowed in the cargo hold.
Nothing was listed on the manifest.
A lot of things weren't.
He could have been referring to anything, though. Might have been something special in his suitcase or in the purser's safe.
We can still search the cargo hold as a start.
Yeah, we'll check it out next dive. Right on time.
Hello, team.
Hey, Gillian.
We recovered the message from the Marconi room, but it doesn't really give us any new information.
That's still great news. I daren't have hoped you'd find it. What does it say?
We're sending you through a photo of the message now.
Thank you. Ah, it adds another layer to the story, doesn't it?
He must have thought himself lucky to have been transferred to Titanic.
The coal strike meant many people were upgraded to Titanic.
Such tragedy.
William refers to a delivery in this message, so we're assuming he may have kept something in the cargo hold. We're planning to head down there next dive to check it out. Depending on what it was, there's a chance it survived.
Did you find anything we missed in the cargo manifests?
No, but I've been doing a bit of extra sleuthing. I found out that there was a registered parcel traveling on the Titanic with a Mr. W.J. Henderson's name on it. Is it possible that the gift was traveling as mail and not cargo?
Yeah, that's a possibility. They could have also been two separate packages. The only way to know would be to check both rooms.
The mailroom used to be off limits, but we can access it through a new hole in the cargo hold wall. Our ROV will need another transmitter upgrade to delve that deep, though, and a longer lasting battery.
That's not an issue, Doctor.
Do you have any idea of the size of the parcel? What's inside it?
No. Could have been anything, really. The registered weight suggests something small, and Mary liked delicate things. Maybe something French? She loved southern France.
Could it have been a religious gift? I read the Hendersons were very involved in their local church.
Yes, definitely. In fact, I'm surprised William's Bible wasn't in the suitcase you recovered. He was known to carry it everywhere.
Maybe he had it with him during the sinking.
Perhaps. There are mixed reports about his final moments, unfortunately. I'm not sure we'll ever find out what really happened.
Well, we'll try our best to find out. Hopefully we can learn more about him from the next dive.
I do hope so. I want to tell my great-grandfather's story accurately in this biography.
We'll speak again tomorrow, after the dive.
Yes, thank you. Talk to you then.
Right, we better get those upgrades for Predator sorted then.
I'll get on it now. good to go.
Thanks.
Radio check, CCGS Wilson.
Signal is great, Dr. Lynch.
Alright.
I'm just marking the cargo hold on your map. You can access it from the number 2 hatch on the forward well deck.
I'll make my way to the hatch and deploy Predator.
I remember it all, very clearly from the moment that my father wakened me, because of course I was in bed and asleep, until I saw that ship sink, and afterwards when I heard the people around. I remember it all vividly.
Do you remember the panic, the fright? Were you panicked and frightened, or did you kind of, being 7 years of age, not really take it all in?
Oh no, I took it all in, but the panic started, of course, after the all too few lifeboats had gone, and people were coming up on deck hoping to get into a lifeboat, and there weren't any boats for them. That's when the panic started, which we could hear when we were in the lifeboat.
I suppose as a very young person, you could see adults panicking and screaming.
Oh, yes,
Must have been absolutely
dreadful,
horrific.
Dreadful.
And your father went down with the ship.
Yes, he did.
Your mother, however, was
She
spared.
was saved
with
with me, yes, that's right.
And I hate to drag it up, but do you remember going away in one of the dinghies and looking back at the ship?
I do indeed, yes. Very clearly, and to this day I hate looking at pictures of ships.
It might be a good idea to shine your sublights down the void again.
Heading down
there
now.
will be a lot of debris down there.
You were right about the debris.
The cargo crates and barrels in here have almost all disintegrated.
I didn't realize it was carrying so much cargo. Surely this wasn't all just for passengers.
No, most of this was produce and commercial goods being shipped to the United States, along with the passenger cargo.
I'll have a look around here before moving on to the mailroom, see if I can find anything related to Henderson. I can't see anything useful here. If he did have a package, it looks to be long gone.
Let's check out the mailroom then.
Where's the access point again?
It's in the side of the wall towards the back of the room. You'll see the metal has deteriorated there.
It looks like some areas are decaying faster than others.
Yeah, it is. We have a request from a conservation group to photograph the opening so the decay can be monitored.
No problem. Done. I'm through to the mailroom.
Deck plans show there is a parcel room to the right of the mail room, near the stairs.
This room is pretty well preserved. Even the mail sacks look to be in decent condition.
The deeper you get into the ship, the more protected everything is.
I can't see anything here.
Try the bags near the stairs. There should be some sacks of registered mail destined for New York.
There you go. Found the New York bags.
Can you see Henderson's name on any packages?
Found one for a W.J. Henderson. I think this is it. The packaging isn't in great condition, but the contents look okay.
I can't believe we found it. Is there anything else there with his name on it?
I can't see anything else. I'll make my way up now.
Great. See you soon.
Hey, Jean. I'll just get this cleaned up before our call.
I'm surprised the packaging survived at all.
This case will need a bit of care. A soak, scrub, PEG bath, and then drying. Luckily, glass and gold don't need much attention when recovered. Just a quick scrub to remove the dirt. It's beautiful.
Gillian will be so excited to see this perfume bottle. Her guess of it being French is correct.
Hi, Jillian.
Hello. What do you have for me today?
We made our way into the cargo hold and mail room and found William's gift. It was a small parcel in the registered mail sacks.
That's amazing. I honestly thought that it was a long shot to recover the parcel. What's inside?
A leather case containing a small glass perfume bottle. Looks like gold detailing, and you were right with your suspicions. It's French.
I knew it.
I'll send through a photo.
Now that this is recovered, though, I don't know where we should search next.
Honestly, we aren't sure either.
We were hoping the journal and his gift might give us some indication of William's final movements, but we're at a dead end.
You should continue your search of the bow. There's still a large portion of the ship unexplored.
Yeah, we need to take advantage of this good weather.
What areas should we explore next, then?
I suggest the D-deck reception area and Turkish baths.
We haven't really ventured into the debris field yet either.
It covers such a large area though, 3 by 5 miles, and some areas are denser in artifacts than others. It would take us years to search the entire area.
What about that mosaic imaging of the wreck completed recently? Could we identify smaller areas to search from those images?
The divers focused on mapping out the wreck itself more than the debris field, but I heard some other diving teams have started on the surrounding areas as well.
I could contact those dive teams to find out what they have mapped. They may have finished some of the denser debris areas.
It's worth a shot. Let us know what you learn.
In the meantime, we'll keep looking for clues and let you know if we find anything of interest.
Thanks. I hope to hear from you soon.
Why the D-deck reception area and Turkish baths?
They're both areas Henderson would have visited, and we have jobs from other contractors in those areas, so it's a good opportunity. 2 birds, 1 stone, you know?
Fair enough. Will we need any upgrades for this next dive?
Yeah, we need to attach some specialty equipment to Predator for these contracts. The D-deck reception is a basic photography opportunity, so that's fine. But the Turkish baths is a recovery job.
A recovery?
Another dive team was searching that area, and their tethered ROV lost communication with the submersible. They've asked us to recover their ROV for them, and they've been kind enough to supply us with the necessary upgrades.
Do you think it'll be difficult to get out?
Not sure yet. We'll find out when we get down there and try. The ROV looks to be trapped under a piece of pipe, so we'll need to lift the pipe and then drag it out with a hook.
What equipment have they given us?
It's sitting over there on the table next to Predator. Should be easy enough to attach it all.
I'll get onto it now then. This flotation gear will help me rescue the downed ROV. There's an empty float bag, a tank of petroleum jelly, and an inflation tube. The flotation bag will be filled with petroleum jelly instead of air. This is because petroleum jelly floats, but it's also dense enough to endure the intense pressure at the bottom of the ocean. This hook and rope will be useful when I rescue the downed ROV. All attached. She's ready for
Thanks.
tomorrow.
Get some rest. We've got a big day tomorrow.
Radio check.
Crystal clear, Dr. Lynch.
Okay, making my way to the D-deck reception area now. I can access this through the forward grand staircase, right?
Yeah, marking it on your map now. You'll need to park off to the side of the staircase this time, leaving the opening clear.
On that night of April the 14th, we all, that is, the captain and officers, knew perfectly well that we were just about entering the region where ice might be sighted at that particular time of the year, and had taken all necessary precautions. We were steaming that night at a good 22 knots. At 10 o'clock, I was relieved as officer of the watch by Murdoch, W.M. Murdoch. Of course, he knew nothing of the death trap lying ahead of us any more than I did. And so, 5 bells, 6 bells, and 7 bells went by. But barely 10 minutes had passed after the sound of the last bell when there were 3 sharp clangs on the crow's nest bell, followed by a cry from the lookout cage, "Ice right ahead, sir." Murdoch evidently saw the massive ice practically at the same time as the lookout men, and shouted, "Hard a starboard, full speed astern." Her bow swung a bit, but not enough, and she struck. She took the blow along her starboard side, masses of ice actually falling on the foredeck.
What's with the patches of damage on the deck? I thought it would all deteriorate at the same rate.
Those sections are deteriorating faster because of visitors to the site. Some people land their subs on deck, making it deteriorate faster.
Isn't conservation of this site meant to be important?
It is. It just took a while for people to realize what was causing the damage. No one lands on the wreck now.
Oh wait, aren't the subs supposed to be neutral? I'm at the
buoyant?
staircase, descending
They
to
are,
D-deck now.
but the scratching of the surface is what causes fast deterioration, not the weight. It's better to just not touch anything.
Alright, I'm at D deck.
Great. The area in front of you is the reception area. Head forward and you'll find a grand piano on the port side.
Is that what I'm photographing?
Yeah, an American historian is writing about the Titanic's musicians and wants a clear photograph of the piano.
Can't believe this survived.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Like something out of a film.
I think this is the first room Henderson would have seen when he boarded.
Did you want to take a minute to look around?
Yeah, can I?
Of course. The next task is the recovery in the Turkish baths. So head down the grand staircase when you're finished here.
Alright, I'm ready. Turkish baths are at the bottom of the staircase, right?
Yep, straight down and off to starboard.
I'm in the baths now. I can see the ROV here pinned under a pipe.
Great. You'll need to get into position and attach the flotation bag to the pipe. The flotation bag is in the Predator's storage compartment.
Done.
Okay. Last step is to activate the tank, and it should fill the bag. You can activate it from the menu on your right-hand controller.
Hey, it's working. The pipe is lifting.
Great. When the pipe's completely lifted, you can attach your hook and drag the ROV out of here.
Right. I think the motor failed. My arm's not responding.
Is everything else okay? Is the line attached?
Yeah, everything else is operational, and the line's still connected.
Okay, we'll fix the arm when you're back on the surface, but for now, you'll have to be extra cautious. You need to drag the ROV back out to the grand staircase. The extra weight is going to make your controls tricky.
Oh, you're not wrong there. Predator's really struggling. I'll need to use my other arm until we get this damaged one replaced. This is going to be difficult.
Just take it nice and slow.
Am I towing this thing all the way back to the sub?
No, we've an easier way to get out of the wreck. Let me know when you're at the staircase.
I'm at the staircase again.
The The next step is to attach a tracker to the ROV. There is one in your compartment.
Okay. Now what?
Now remove the hook and let it float straight up to the surface.
There she
The other
goes.
diving team will
Should
be
I
able
follow
to track
up?
it and... No, we aren't finished down here yet.
What's left to do?
We need to collect the gear we left in the Turkish baths.
The flotation gear?
Yeah, it's too expensive to leave down here. You need to deflate the balloon and remove it from the pipe.
All done. I'm heading back up.
Great, see you soon. I'll get the lab ready to repair Predator.
Looks like the motor went.
Yeah, we're lucky it's easy to replace. Hey, Gillian.
How are you doing?
As well as can be expected, I guess.
How did you go with the dive teams? Did you find anything?
Not really. I contacted them and looked over the areas of the debris field that they've mapped using cameras. The images are highly detailed, but I couldn't see anything interesting there. They've suggested we consider mapping out an unexplored area.
Well, we could take on that contract for you if you want. Our submersible is capable. It's already fitted with sonar and cameras.
And we haven't found anything else related to Henderson inside the ship. I think we should start looking outside the bow.
Yes, I agree. We may get lucky and find William.
And even if we don't, we'll still be contributing to research of the ship and our passengers.
Do you have the coordinates for the area they want us to check?
Yes, I'll send them through. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm going to the Titanic convention in Southampton tomorrow.
Oh, great. Getting some research done?
Hopefully. It's a good opportunity to meet some of the other relatives of passengers and hear their stories. There's also a demo for a Titanic computer game being shown. Apparently, it's been in development for almost 10 years, but the developers are saying it'll be released soon.
It better be. I backed it on Funster years ago.
Let us know how it goes. I'd love to hear some stories about Henderson.
I suppose we should prepare for the next dive then.
We've got a lot to do before we head out. Thanks for the update, Jillian.
Not a problem. Let me know how you get on tomorrow.
Will do. Talk later. I suppose I better fix that arm.
Shouldn't take you too long. There's a replacement one on the table.
All done. See you tomorrow.
See you then.
Radio check.
Crystal clear, Dr. Lynch.
Alright, let's get this scanning started.
I've marked the starting point on your map.
So what's the process exactly?
Well, it can be a little repetitive, but takes a fair bit of skill. Basically, you need to mow the lawn with your sub.
Mow the lawn? What?
You need to scan up and down the area following a strict pattern, making sure you cover the entire area. The data you collect doing this will allow us to create a 3D detailed map of the area. And this will help researchers identify items amongst the debris field.
Right, so if I don't follow the lines perfectly, I risk missing a bit?
Yeah, pretty much. The submersible you're in is already fitted with both sonar and optical equipment for this exact purpose. If we can't make a full mosaic from the images you collect, the blame is kind of on you and your piloting skills.
No pressure then.
Well, we were standing on the steerage, third class they call it, and then we couldn't get up to second. And of course, then there was one man with us, and he was our guardian angel, and he said, for God's sake, let the women up. So at that, I got up
And then you
second.
And then you got into a lifeboat.
No, then I had to go to first cabin. The lifeboats were only going from first cabin. So there was a man on the second deck, and he asked me to go on his shoulder, and I climbed over, and then I think it was the last boat that was going out.
Did you take
They didn't want to let me on because there was too many on the boat already.
But you got into the boat.
But I said to the man, I'd like to go with my sister because there was a neighbor with me, and I thought he'd feel it. Because I didn't want to lose the crowd. I didn't really think it was any danger, but I thought I'd miss them in the dark. You know, it was very dark.
Did you see the ship sink?
Oh, yes. I was looking at it sinking when we were in the lifeboat, because we're in the lifeboats for 9 hours.
And then which ship rescued you?
Carpathia. Carpathia picked us up then early in the morning, about 9 o'clock or something.
Alright, here we are.
Great. I'm just updating your map with the new path for scanning. You'll need to try and follow the lines as well as you can. If you go off track, try to get back on and keep going.
Will do.
And remember to keep your eyes peeled for anything relating to Henderson.
What exactly should I be looking for?
His Bible, a pocket watch with his initials, his coat, shoes, anything that might have survived.
Right.
While the lookouts weren't issued with a pair of binoculars, the officers all had their own pairs. So tragic. 59 children died during the sinking, the majority coming from third-class families. So far, over 6,000 items from the wreck site have been recovered. Pairs of leather boots are grim reminders of the human loss of the Titanic accident. This is someone's grave. This tableware would have come from one of the dining saloons. There were 3 separate dining saloons on board, one for each class.
Couldn't see anything jumping out at me, though.
Yeah, that's okay. We can double check the images when you get back up here. They're coming through now. Hopefully something will pop up. Next up is to place a hydrophone. I've marked the location on your map.
I'll head over there now.
Okay, you'll need to dispatch Predator and use the arms to place the hydrophone. It's in the storage compartment.
All right.
What's with the center casing?
Well, that's all the batteries and computers needed to run the hydrophone and record the data. In a couple of years, they'll organize it to be collected again so they can study the recordings.
That's amazing. Do you need to activate anything?
Nope, it's all set up. Right, what's next then?
Our final contract for today is from a Lebanese society. They want to see detailed images of the funnels. I have the coordinates. I'll mark them on your map.
Another easy contract.
It pays the bills.
I'll head there now. I didn't realize there was a Lebanese Titanic society. Were there many Lebanese on board?
Oh yeah, there was a large Arabic community on board. Over 100 migrants from Lebanon, Syria and Egypt. Unfortunately, most Arabic names were anglicized on the passenger list, leading to confusion when reporting which people died or survived.
It must have been scary for those passengers who didn't speak English. They couldn't have known what was happening. All done.
Great, they'll be happy with those images.
Anything else?
Nope, that's all for today. You're free to explore or head up to the surface.
I think I'll explore a little.
Oh hey, come check this out.
That wasn't great, was it?
Yeah, you might want to brush up. The mosaic is missing a lot of pieces. I've started going through the images, but haven't found anything so far resembling Henderson's items.
That's a shame. How long will it take to go through all the images?
I think I can have them all done tomorrow evening. I really hope we find something.
Yeah, me too.
Hello, Ethan. Jean. How'd you both manage today?
Hi, Jillian.
I think we did well. We've scanned the area and I've started processing the images.
Oh, wonderful news. When do you think they'll be done?
I'd say tomorrow evening. How did the convention go?
It was marvelous. So many people came, and I got to hear a huge range of stories. I'll definitely be attending the next one.
Did you hear anything about Henderson?
Yes, actually. One lady in particular said her grandmother, Anne, was a survivor and spoke of the accident regularly. She remembers Anne talking about the kindness of a Scottish gent who helped families board lifeboats on the starboard side. Apparently, once he learnt teenage boys were being banned from boats on the port side of the ship, he went up and down the boat deck telling them to try on the other side.
Sounds like Henderson. How did she know it was him and not another passenger?
He was well known in business circles, wasn't he?
Yes, Anne didn't realize who it was at the time, but her mother did. Years later, she found letters her mother had written to friends about the kindness of William Henderson and other men who helped passengers. She was thankful that he thought it important to keep families together.
That's an impressive story. Does her family still have the letter?
Yes, but she didn't bring it with her. She'll email me through a copy when she can.
It'd be a great thing to include in the biography.
I'd love to accompany it with an image of his final resting place. I hope we'll spot something in these scanned images.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Do you have a plan if we don't find anything in the images?
We'd be at another dead end. I suppose we could select another area and rescan, but I don't wish to keep doing that. My funding can only go so far, and I fear the search would need to be shelved.
That's all right. We understand.
I'd love for us to find him, but if we don't have evidence to follow...
We'll keep searching the debris field and let you know if we find something. You never know, we might find a new lead tomorrow.
I hope so. In the meantime, I'll keep looking for another lead here.
We'll talk again tomorrow evening.
Speak to you then.
So, that's our itinerary for tomorrow's dive.
Just one contract job for tomorrow, but it's an interesting one. You'll be assisting Mr. Ocean to film his documentary on the wreck.
Mr. Ocean, as in the big shot Hollywood director Eddie Ocean.
That's the one. He's requested you help light up the wreck with your sub while he films from another sub. He'll be communicating with you directly through the radio.
Wow, this'll be great.
It'll be an experience for sure, but he's known to have a bit of a temper, so you'll need to make sure you're fast and efficient.
Right. Will you be helping me?
No, unfortunately. I'll be spending the entire day here in the lab searching through the images. You're on your own for this one.
Anyone else there?
Ocean has 2 historians in the sub with him, but they won't be much help to you. They're just there to assist him. Mr. Ocean has kindly provided us with new wide beam lights. Should give you good coverage, and you can use your normal lights for spotlight work.
Radio check, Wilson.
All clear, Dr. Lynch. I think you're set. Just remember to only turn on your wide beam lights when you are directed to by Mr.
Can't
Ocean.
I leave them on all the time?
Oh hey, come check this out.
That wasn't great, was it?
Yeah, you might want to brush up. The mosaic is missing a lot of pieces. I've started going through the images, but haven't found anything so far resembling Henderson's items.
That's a shame. How long will it take to go through all the images?
I think I can have them all done tomorrow evening. I really hope we find something.
Yeah, me too.
Hello, Ethan. Jean. How'd you both manage today?
Hi, Jillian.
I think we did well. We've scanned the area and I've started processing the images.
Oh, wonderful news. When do you think they'll be done?
I'd say tomorrow evening. How did the convention go?
It was marvelous. So many people came, and I got to hear a huge range of stories. I'll definitely be attending the next one.
Did you hear anything about Henderson?
Yes, actually. One lady in particular said her grandmother, Anne, was a survivor and spoke of the accident regularly. She remembers Anne talking about the kindness of a Scottish gent who helped families board lifeboats on the starboard side. Apparently, once he learned teenage boys were being banned from boats on the port side of the ship, he went up and down the boat deck telling them to try on the other side.
Sounds like Henderson. How did she know it was him and not another passenger?
He was well known in business circles, wasn't he?
Yes, Anne didn't realize who it was at the time, but her mother did. Years later, she found letters her mother had written to friends about the kindness of William Henderson and other men who helped passengers. She was thankful that he thought it important to keep families together.
That's an impressive story. Does her family still have the letter?
Yes, but she didn't bring it with her. She'll email me through a copy when she can.
It'd be a great thing to include in the biography.
I'd love to accompany it with an image of his final resting place. I hope we'll spot something in these scanned images.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Do you have a plan if we don't find anything in the images?
We'd be at another dead end. I suppose we could select another area and rescan, but I don't wish to keep doing that. My funding can only go so far, and I fear the search would need to be shelved.
That's alright. We understand.
I'd love for us to find him, but if we don't have evidence to follow...
We'll keep searching the debris field and let you know if we find something. You never know, we might find a new lead tomorrow.
I hope so. In the meantime, I'll keep looking for another lead here.
We'll talk again tomorrow evening.
Speak to you then.
So, that's our itinerary for tomorrow's dive.
Just one contract job for tomorrow, but it's an interesting one. You'll be assisting Mr. Ocean to film his documentary on the wreck.
Mr. Ocean, as in the big shot Hollywood director Eddie Ocean.
That's the one. He's requested you help light up the wreck with your sub, while he films from another sub. He'll be communicating with you directly through the radio.
Wow, this'll be great.
It'll be an experience for sure, but he's known to have a bit of a temper, so you'll need to make sure you're fast and efficient.
Right. Will you be helping me?
No, unfortunately. I'll be spending the entire day here in the lab, searching through the images. You're on your own for this one.
Anyone else there?
Ocean has 2 historians in the sub with him, but they won't be much help to you. They're just there to assist him. Mr. Ocean has kindly provided us with new wide beam lights. Should give you good coverage, and you can use your normal lights for spotlight work.
Radio check, Wilson.
All clear, Dr. Lynch. I think you're set. Just remember to only turn on your wide beam lights when you are directed to by Mr. Ocean.
Can't I leave them on all the time?
No, they'll drain your battery faster.
Alright, I think I'm ready.
You'll need to change over to channel 95 to speak with Mr. Ocean. His call sign is Ocean 1.
Great. Thanks, Gene. I'll talk to you later.
That was around the time I won my first Academy Award. As you know, I've won a fair few since then.
Yes. Very interesting.
I'd just like to thank you again for having us here. We're big fans of your work.
I know, son.
Ocean 1, this is Sedna.
Sedna, this is Ocean 1. Welcome to my palace.
Good to be here.
Dr. Lynch, I have my right-hand men here, Harold Walsh and Sean Jones. Say hi to the doctor, boys.
Hello there. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Alrighty, down to business. We're filming sections of the bow today for my upcoming film. It's an educational documentary showing how much I've learned about the ship. And of course, it'll also be a great follow-up to my award-winning film. I'm guessing you've seen it?
Yeah, a while ago.
Of course you have. It's everyone's favorite. I'll be directing and filming from my sub while you'll provide extra lighting.
Right.
We've 6 locations to get through today, so we'd better get moving. First up is a shot of the bow. Get into position. Oh, and make sure all other transceivers are off. I'm a patient man, but I won't stand for interruptions.
Yeah, sure.
The bow is a great place to start, Mr. Ocean. So many interesting things located here. The anchors, the ship's name, the iceberg damage.
What part will we be filming first, Mr. Ocean?
A panning shot of the stem, finishing where John and Daisy stood in my film.
Oh, that's my favorite part.
I didn't realize John and Daisy were based on real people.
Oh, they're not, but it's such a poignant shot from my film, I just have to recreate it. The fans will be...
Wouldn't it be more educational to show areas with real history?
Ah, Walsh, we will. But I want to start by filming the most important locations, ones that are linked to my films. We need to start by reminding people about the tragedy of the ship, to capture that...
The scene with John and Daisy, very emotional.
Of course it was. That movie was a visual masterpiece. And this documentary will be even better. on your... Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Your lights at that angle are perfect. I'm a genius. You might be asking yourself, how does Eddie Ocean come up with these brilliant ideas, these great shots? And it all comes down to one thing.
Research?
Experience?
Imagination! That's all you need. Imagination.
And funding?
Well, obviously cash is important too, but it's mainly imagination. Ah! Don't blind me! Turn off your lights! Do you even know what
Sorry,
you're doing?
yeah. Where to now?
To the port side anchor. Hurry up!
The port anchor is an excellent choice for footage.
Well, of course it is. That's why I'm heading there.
Did you know there were a total of 5 anchors on board Titanic?
5?
Yes, 3 at the bow and the 2 kedge anchors. One on the starboard forecastle deck and the other next to the stern flagpole.
Fascinating.
All right, here we are. Get into position. I don't have all day. Light it up! Now, Lynch!
So, Harold and Sean, what brings you to the wreck?
We are mainly here to assist Mr. Ocean in this expedition. We are producers on this documentary, but we also wanted to see the wreck for ourselves. We've been fans of the Titanic for a long, long time.
And fans of Mr. Ocean, of course.
Cut the chatter! There's an artist at work. Done! Next is Molly Brown's room. I want a shot of that brass bed.
Margaret Brown, Mr. Ocean. She was never known as Molly.
Whatever, Walsh. I don't care.
Sorry, where are we heading?
To B deck, of course.
But wasn't her room on E deck? Her account in the Newport Herald said.
I don't care what her account said. I have the camera, and I say it was this room. Lynch, stop dragging your feet. Get into position.
Where do you want me?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe there in front of the window? Get in there! Nice and close. No brass bed here. Well, that's all right. We can work around it. No! What are you doing? You're in the shot!
I haven't moved. I'm in the same spot.
I'm surrounded by incompetence! You realize who I am, right? We'll have to shoot it again. Move back, and make sure you keep out of the shot!
Sorry, yeah.
You see, that wasn't too hard, was it? If you focus, you can actually learn something about filmmaking. Next up is the captain's quarters. I want a shot of his bathtub and bedroom. Get over there! We're going to cover both the bathroom and bedroom. Just make sure you keep out of the shot.
On the ship. Give you a choice of fresh or salt water, hot or cold.
Salt water?
It was considered therapeutic at the time, although most wealthy people only washed once a week.
Have you seen it before?
Well, I've seen pictures.
I'll tell you what's therapeutic. Diving, especially at this site. I love to come here and relax while filming. It's so calm and peaceful.
I can only imagine.
All right, positioning, lights, come on. We're going to cover both the bathroom and bedroom. Just make sure you keep out of the shot.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. The angle's great. And now, the bedroom. What? No, I can't talk. I'm at the bottom of the ocean. Do you know how unprofessional this is? To contact me in the middle of a shoot? Yeah? Well, you should have known my transceiver was left on. I can't be expected to do everything around here. Unbelievable. Okay, we'll keep going. They can fix it in post. Lights off. The David is up next. Get over to the marker.
Which David are we filming, Mr. Ocean?
David number 1.
The one First Officer Murdoch last operated.
Where do you want me placed?
Come on, light. Yes, that's the way, Lynch. Shine down like the heavens. You don't have much experience diving, do you, Lynch?
Well, this is my first expedition here, but I've dived.
I expected as much, judging by your piloting skills. All right, now get down onto the side of it. I want to see lights coming across, casting shadows. No, that's not quite right. My angle's off. I need to get a bit lower.
Mr. Ocean, you should maybe...
It's not good for the decks, you see.
I'm the experienced diver here. I know what I'm doing.
But you're damaging the wreck.
I'll park where I damn well please.
Stephen never speaks to us like this.
Pick up the pace, Lynch. I'm a busy man. I want another downward lighting shot. This time for the GSC.
The GSC? What's that?
The grand staircase. Keep up. You'll notice that this wrecked staircase doesn't look anything like the one in my film. It's because the original staircase broke up and floated out of the ship as it sank.
Hey, your recreation looked pretty accurate.
Yeah, I personally oversaw the whole project. I like to be involved in everything, you know. It's a hard job, but the art is worth the effort.
Yeah, I think...
Of course, it couldn't have been done without my team. They helped a lot with the actual production of the film, but it was my guidance that got us there. I think that's why I won so many awards for that film. Guess how many?
Guess how many awards?
Yeah, go on. How many awards did I win?
Well, maybe...
20! Can you believe it? 20 awards for that single film! And I'm expecting more for this documentary. I'm revolutionizing the film industry just being here. Get into position and hurry up with those lights. did you see that? That damn fish ruined my shot! I'll have to reset and start again.
But Mr. Ocean, that's the ghost fish. It's rare to capture it on film.
Surely you know about the ghost fish.
Of course I know about the ghost fish, Walsh.
Are you going to follow it?
No, I can't. My sub's too big to navigate down there. Even with my piloting skills, I can't get close enough with a camera.
I can try getting near it with my ROV.
Don't be ridiculous. If I can't get close, you'd have no hope.
What size is the ROV? Do you have a decent camera?
It's pretty small and fast, but it's only got a basic camera and lights.
You can't be seriously considering this.
I'm afraid so. Dr. Lynch...
But he's an amateur. If I get an ROV, I'll be able to...
You can't afford an ROV, Mr. Ocean, just like you couldn't afford this dive. It was your decision to blow the film budget on CGI.
That iceberg looks amazing, and you know it. It'll make this film.
You're lucky we even paid to bring you down here at all, with the way you've treated us. It certainly won't be happening again.
Are we finished with this filming session, Mr. Ocean?
Yes, I guess so.
Then you're free to go, Dr. Lynch. We'll be in touch.
Yes, of course. Looking forward to it. CCGS Wilson, that's a Sedna, over.
Sedna, this is CCGS Wilson. Over.
I'm ready to head up.
How did you go with the filming?
It was interesting. I'll tell you about it when I surface.
No worries. See you soon.
So, I've had a call from a Mr. Walsh.
Yeah, he was with Mr. Ocean. What did he say?
That he and Mr. Jones were impressed with your attitude and interest towards the wreck, and they'd like to hire us for a contract to film a fish?
A ghost fish. Apparently it's newly discovered. The footage of it is worth quite a bit. Seems to live deep inside the wreck, and they need someone to film it with an ROV.
Ah, I wondered about that. They've paid to upgrade Predator's cameras and lights, and want us to dive tomorrow, weather permitting. How was Mr. Ocean?
Painful. How'd you go with the images?
No luck, unfortunately. I'd hoped we'd find something for Gillian.
Well, at least the images can be sent off to other teams.
Yeah, I'm just not sure where we go from here to find Henderson.
I hope Gillian has something for us. Hi, Gillian.
Hello, how are things?
Not going well, I'm afraid. We haven't had any luck with the images. I've searched through them all and haven't found anything relating to Henderson.
Nothing came up today on the wreck either.
My research into the debris fields hasn't brought any new leads. I'm very sorry, but we've had no leads on William's gravesite for several days, and as per our contract, I'm gonna have to put my funding for this expedition on hold.
We understand.
Look, I appreciate all the work you've both put into this search so far, and if we do find a new lead, I'll be happy to reopen the search, but I just can't afford to keep you down there without anything solid to pursue.
It's okay. We were aware this might happen. We're thankful that we've had the opportunity to work with you.
This experience has been unforgettable.
We've managed to learn so much about William and his life in such a small amount of time, and it's made a huge difference in the biography. You'll both be credited in the book, of course.
Thanks. We'll continue to look for clues around the site and give you a call if we find anything new.
Thank you. I'm so sorry to have to pull out at such a late stage.
It's fine. We understand.
I hope we'll speak again soon.
Well, that's great.
It's the nature of the job, unfortunately. Sometimes there's information popping up everywhere and then long periods of nothing in between.
What do we do now?
We continue with our dive tomorrow. We have funding for that at least. After that, I'm not sure.
In good news, we have some new gadgets for the ROV. The new lights and camera are over there on the table.
I'll get on it now then. All finished.
See you tomorrow.
Radio check.
Coming through clear, Dr. Lynch.
Something wrong?
No, just realizing this might be our last dive.
That's okay. I'm sure something will pop up. Even if it doesn't, we'll find another sponsor for next season.
Yeah.
Okay, where should I look for this fish?
Mr. Walsh said it's usually spotted around E-Deck.
Alright, I'll head down there and take a look around. Did he give any tips on how to do
He
this?
just said it's agile and very fast. Makes it difficult to capture on film.
Okay, so I'll need to be quick and try not to scare it off.
And remember to use the new red lights too. The fish doesn't seem to see red light, so it shouldn't react.
I'll activate them when I get down there. Damn! Here it is. I'll keep my
Can you get
distance
it
and
on
start
film?
recording. Yeah, I'll just get closer. Here it is. I'll keep my distance and start recording. Ah, and notice the camera. It's heading for the staircase.
It'll be harder to find if it gets out the ship.
I'll follow it. No, it got out.
Quickly, get after it.
Okay, it stopped again.
Do you think you'll be able to get close enough for a clear shot?
Yeah, it's in a good spot here. I've got it.
Did you get enough footage?
Yeah, I think so. Do I need to do anything else while I'm here?
No, that's all you needed to do. You can change back to your normal lights again now. Ready to head back?
Not quite yet. I saw something behind the fish shimmer with the light. I'm gonna check it out.
Might as well. This will probably be our last dive.
It's a pocket watch. There's also clothing, a bowler hat, some shoes. It looks to be a Bible cover.
A Bible? Is there anything identifiable there? A name? Initials?
We need to mark this location, and I'll take photographs so we can verify everything in the lab.
Alright, location is marked. Are you able to collect the pocket watch?
Yeah, it's just sitting on top. WJ... Hey, Gene, I know it sounds unbelievable, but I think this might be Henderson.
Are you sure? I think you might be jumping to conclusions here.
Maybe, but with the initials on the watch and the Bible, I mean, it's possible.
Well, what should we do?
I'll head back to the surface.
I really hope you're right about this.
This watch is in excellent condition. You wouldn't even know it's been down there so long. The initials are engraved on the back, and the face shows the time the ship sank.
As we already know, Henderson's initials don't match any other first-class passengers. A watch like this would have only been owned by a wealthy man, too.
It looks the same as the one in his photographs. It must be a match.
The shoes and coat seem to be like the style Henderson preferred. He always had his shoes handmade.
The Bible pages appear to be completely deteriorated, but the leather cover is intact.
I'm sold. I think it's time to contact Gillian and let her know.
I agree.
Hello, how are you both?
Going well, Gillian. We have some good news for you.
Oh?
We think we found Henderson's final resting place.
Oh my, are you sure? Where was he?
He was near the back of the bow on the port side, close to the debris field we were scanning 2 days ago. Placed a marker and photographed some of the items at the location.
We also recovered a pocket watch from the site. It has the initials WJH engraved on the back.
Do you think it's possible it could be someone else's? Have you checked them against the photos I sent through?
Yes, the items match the photos.
We've found him.
Oh, you don't know how much this means to me, to finally find William's grave. I was starting to think I was wasting my time chasing ghosts in the Atlantic.
Now you have an ending for your biography.
Not just that, we have closure.
What would you like to do?
I want to come down on the next dive with you and place a memorial plaque at the site. I want to see it for myself.
Great idea.
What did you want to do with the items we've collected?
They'll be displayed in museums alongside other people's recovered belongings. It's important that children learn about the tragedy of the Titanic, that these objects pulled from the ocean remain as reminders of the lives lost. And to thank you both. I want to fund our next expedition.
Our next expedition?
Where are we heading?
Sedna, this is CCGS Wilson.
This is Sedna. Go ahead. Over.
You should be coming up on the stern now, Dr. Lynch. About 200 meters and closing.
Thanks, Gene. I'll let you know when it starts to show up on my map.
Great. Excited to be back?
Yeah, it's been a long winter. Glad to be back in the driving seat.
Getting bored with the new toys in your lab at the university?
I appreciate all the funding we received after finishing the Henderson job. The attention generated was great for the department. It's just nice to be back out in the field again.
Good to hear. Do you need a refresher with the controls after all this time off?
That's alright. I'm fine. It hasn't been that long.
Good. How far are you from the stern now? You must be almost ready to disengage autopilot.
Just reaching the ocean floor now.
Okay. Autopilot is disengaged. You'd better place a marker before we head too far. Interact with the button in front of the map.
Marker's
to
been
place
placed.
one. Right. You can head towards the reciprocating engines then. The location is marked on your map, and the mission log has been updated.
So, this is a photography mission?
Yeah, we've been contracted to photograph a bunch of locations around the stern wreck. We've a couple of side tasks to carry out while we're here too, but I'll let you know as we get to them.
I don't think I've seen many photos of the stern.
Yeah. There aren't many photographs of the stern as it's not as accessible or photogenic as the bow. It's a bit of a mess. The stern suffered a lot of structural damage as it sank, so most of the interior decks collapsed and the starboard side is missing hull plating. But even through all the destruction, quite a few interesting features survived, so we'll be focusing on capturing these on camera. Historians have learned a lot by studying the differences in damage and deterioration between the bow and stern sections. The photographs we take today will help experts monitor the rate of decay for different areas.
Alright, I can see it up ahead. The engines are massive.
These two reciprocating engines weigh about 900 tons each and stand just over 9 meters tall. They were powered by the steam from the boiler rooms and turned the two side propellers. They also powered the turbine engines which turned the central propeller.
Looks like the upper decks have collapsed and draped over the cylinders.
Yeah, what used to be the first and second class kitchen galley is covering the starboard side, and parts of the sea deck are laying on the port side.
Whoa, what a mess. I think I'm close enough for a photo.
Great. You'll need to deploy the ROV and use the camera.
Ah, the Predator.
If you look up, you'll find a set of VR goggles and a control panel. To deploy the ROV, reach out and touch the VR goggles with your hand controller. Then pull the trigger to use.
Has anything changed on the ROV since I last operated it?
Yeah. It's had a few upgrades thanks to the additional funding. Top quality transmitters have been fitted, so you shouldn't have any issues going out of range of Sedna. Other than that, the movement controls are still the same as the submersible, and the control diagram still appears if you hold down the info button.
Great. And the camera?
The camera, map, mission log, and inventory are still accessible through the ROV menu. You can open the menu by pressing and releasing the info button. Then interact with the camera icon with the laser pointer and pull the trigger to use.
Right. I've taken a photo. What's next?
You can get out of camera mode by pressing and releasing the info button again. From this menu, you can also see the ROV's map with your next goal location and mission log visible. You should head towards the second-class entrance on the boat deck.
Can I get there in the ROV, or do I need to bring the submersible?
Up to you, really. The range on the ROV is enough to cover the entire stern, but you might like to use the submersible to light up your photographs better. To get back into the submersible, press the return button.
Right. I'll head to the second-class entrance now.
You might like to swing past the starboard side before you head up to the boat deck. You can kind of see the turbine and dynamo engines through the missing hull. You'll need to be at ground level to look in, just forward of the strip of boat deck hanging down.
Ah, nice. The dynamos generated all the electricity on board, right?
Yeah. Titanic had 4 steam-driven generators that powered the lights, heating, fans, Marconi radio equipment, clocks, telephones, cranes, and elevators. She also had 2 backup generators on D-deck for emergencies, and they were run every night, just in case. Titanic really was a state-of-the-art ship with all the latest conveniences.
What's so special about the second-class entrance? Why are we heading there?
The Olympic-class liners were the first to provide second-class passengers with an elevator, and the elevator equipment can be seen at the second-class entrance.
Ah.
The elevator ran through the central well of the forward second-class staircase, and accessed the boat deck through to the F deck, skipping A deck. An elevator steward was allocated to each of the 4 elevators on board. They manually moved the elevator up and down the shaft using a lever connected to the motors. A good steward could stop the elevator level with each deck and assisted passengers with information about onboard facilities.
Alright, I'm at the second-class entrance. It's not in great shape.
The walls of the entrance are propping the equipment up, but it's leaning to port and unstable. Be careful not to get too close when taking a photograph.
Right. Done. Where to next?
Next up is the starboard A-deck crane, just aft of here. I've updated your map and mission log.
I'll head there now. I didn't realize any cranes survived on this stern.
Yeah. This is the only one still attached. It was electric, like the other cranes on board, and was used to access the number 4 hatch on B deck. The stern holds 4, 5, and 6 were mostly used for storing third-class baggage and refrigerated food supplies.
Alright, I'm at the crane. I'll get the camera ready.
Done.
Great. On to the aft mast. Like the foremast, the aft mast has collapsed, but you'll see it's fallen to port and leaning over the edge of the B-deck hull.
Leaning to port? Was that from the impact?
The stern was spiraling as it landed, and everything shifted to port, including the upper decks. It's more noticeable from the starboard side, but you can see the C-deck second-class promenade windows don't line up with the lower deck walls by about 3 meters.
I had no idea the impact was so violent.
Yeah. The stern was traveling at roughly 60 kilometers per hour when it hit the ground. A lot of debris trailed out of the stern as it spun, and the jagged edges of the exposed decks were folded back or peeled off. The implosion damage had blown out the walls and sides, so the upper decks were lacking supports and collapsed on top of each other as it landed. The only reason the stern has some structure now is the watertight bulkheads remain.
Photograph has been taken. Is it just me, or does this mast look shorter than the foremast?
Yeah, this aft mast is slightly shorter than the foremast. Only the bottom section of both masts remains. The top 4.5 meters were teak and have since disintegrated.
Okay, what's next?
We're heading aft again. Over to the starboard side this time. I'll mark it on your map.
What should I be looking for?
We're moving towards a piece of decking, sticking up out of the collapsed decks. A loose section of the well deck fell fast enough that it managed to slice through the decks just forward of watertight bulkhead O. The exposed joists on top compose a threat for the ROV. Make sure you don't get too close.
Right, I'll keep my distance. Done. Why is the decking here collapsed so much more than the port side?
This area suffered massive implosion damage. The stern still had pockets of air as it sank, and the outside pressure increased to a point where the surrounding water forced its way into these pockets. The implosion was powerful enough to strip away all the cabin walls and supports from this area, leaving the decks to collapse on top of each other.
Survivors reported hearing underwater explosions. Do you think that was the stern imploding?
Yeah, that's the current opinion. Ships don't go down quietly.
Okay, what's next?
We've been asked to recover a tile from the decking just aft of here. There is a small pile of tiles from the third-class general room, and we can grab one from the top of the pile.
I found the tile. I just need to pick it up by holding down one of the triggers to interact.
Okay, you should put the tiles in the Predator's storage then. Just open and close the menu again by pressing and releasing the infill button. The tile will appear in the ROV's inventory as a selectable item, and you'll have your hands free again.
Right. So, this tile was originally from the general room. Was that near here?
Yeah. The third class general and smoking rooms were at the very aft of the stern, just under the poop deck. We'll pass them as we head over to the port side propeller.
Right.
The general room was used as a covered communal space for families and friends to talk and enjoy music, similar to the open space in the bow. The smoking room next door was strictly for men and was somewhere they could relax and order a drink. If passengers wanted a bit of fresh air, they could head out onto the well deck. The destruction wasn't limited to the top of the ship. The propellers were bent up at an angle of 20 degrees. The correct position of the propeller is 7 meters below ground level. The stern was traveling at about 60 to 80 kilometers per hour and spun 2.5 rotations before hitting the ocean floor. Decks were bent back and the sides aren't connected. The sides must have come apart on the way down because they're bent too far out to be damaged from the impact. The central propeller has been thought to be a 4-blade like Olympics, but Harland and Wolff records show a 3-blade was fitted to Titanic. There are no photographs of Titanic's propellers, only Olympics. Poop deck was covered by the peeled back section, exposing the decks below. The well deck was damaged by implosions. Dr. Ballard left a remembrance plaque on the poop deck, next to a stern capstan. Okay, Dr. Lynch. We are nearing the end of our dive. We have a couple of more tasks to complete before returning to the surface.
Right. What's next?
We have a special assignment from a company called VR Education, who are currently building a virtual model of the Titanic shipwreck.
Whoa, the entire wreck?
Yeah. Well, most of it. They wanted to create the model so that new generations of kids and adults will be able to explore the wreck long after it's gone. She's been sitting here on the bottom of the ocean for over a century now, and is expected to disappear by 2030, thanks to hungry bacteria eating at her hull and slowly dissolving her.
Yeah, it really is sad. It'll soon be just a memory. But this sounds like a worthwhile project. What's the assignment they've asked for?
The developers at VR Education have asked us to place a plaque on the stern next to the one Dr. Ballard placed back in the 80s. The plaque is in your ROV inventory, ready to be placed.
Okay. Where's Dr. Ballard's plaque located?
Ballard placed the plaque between two roller fair leads on the extreme aft starboard side of the stern. I will mark the location on your map.
Thanks, Gene. I'm on my way now. Okay, I'm on location now. I can see Dr. Ballard's plaque.
Great. Once you placed it, please take a photo so we can send it to the people at VR Education.
plaque reads, "This plaque is dedicated to the memory of all those who lost their lives on the sinking of RMS Titanic on the 15th of April, 1912. This plaque is located on the ship's final area of refuge before she plunged into the depths of the icy ocean. May those who perished find peace at their eternal destination."
Very poignant. It's sad to know that many of the victims on that tragic night spent their last few moments clinging to life in this very spot. It was the last part of Titanic to submerge.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it would have been like. This whole trip was a big honor. I feel like this one's gonna stick with me.
Me too. It was a pleasure guiding you on your dives, Dr. Lynch. I hope we can get to do this again someday.
Don't mention it. You performed brilliantly. Yeah, I think it's time to call it a day. Let's hope we get some funding to come back here in the future. I'm sure there's a lot more to be discovered.
Me too. Just hit the autopilot to return to the ship.